We have your attention, please. Would everybody start taking their seats, please?
Yeah. So I would just say here.
Are we gonna say the flag, please, or are we gonna just like follow everybody? We have to. That's it. You're gonna get in front of us and harmonize? Yeah. Oh, we play the
I hope you know what I know. At this point in your life.
Josh, I'll call you. When I went to school with
Yeah.
Ace and Phil.
Yo soy America's Most Wanted.
Yes. How you doing, Robert? Who do you work for? Brown. How you doing, Robert, man?
Let's get Carlos Martinez.
Yeah. Don't look at me.
Had you overthinking, like, come on. I'll give you a second chance.
None of this stuff.
You want to see the cameras are on you? Like a little strange. Hey, go on, you got a quick test.
That's all we get.
Can we sign already? Something's off.
Cut it right down to
Good afternoon. We're about to start. All rise.
Give it a second, give it a second. Give it a second, let everybody get settled. Okay.
Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. The 11th Judicial Circuit Court is now convened in celebration of the 250th anniversary of our nation's founding. God save the United States of America, the state of Florida, and this honorable court.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. I'm going to ask all of you to please remain standing as we do the presentation of colors, courtesy of Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office, the Pledge of Allegiance, the national anthem, and our invocation. And then I promise we'll have a good time to sit. All right, thank you.
Left, right, mark time, mark. Details, halt. Ready, face. Freeze and arms.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And for our national anthem, we will now hear from one of our colleagues, Laura Gonzalez Marquez. Where's the mic? We're missing a mic. Can you guys hear us in the mic room?
Yes.
We're missing a handheld mic. Oh, here it is. Okay. Sorry. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
And now for our invocation, we'd like to invite the Honorable Monica Gordo from our 3rd District Court of Appeal.
Good afternoon, everyone. Before we begin, I ask that we bow our heads to remember the lives lost this week in the earthquake in Venezuela. For all the families suffering, first responders, and emergency response teams, may God give them strength and his protection during this most difficult time. Now we turn to our invocation. Almighty God, we gather today in gratitude and humility as we celebrate 250 years of liberty, justice, and the rule of law in these United States of America. We thank you for the blessings you have bestowed upon this nation since its founding. We remember with gratitude those courageous men whom history knows as the Founding Fathers, who, trusting in divine providence and guided by enduring truths, declared before the world that all people are created equal and endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. Through faith, conviction, and sacrifice, they established a nation dedicated to liberty and self-government, founded upon principles that continue to inspire people throughout the world. We give thanks for the wisdom and vision that shaped our founding documents. We are grateful for the Declaration of Independence, which recognized that human dignity and fundamental rights come not from government, but from you, our Creator. We are grateful from the Constitution of the United States, which established a government of laws and not of men, safeguarded by checks and balances and entrusted to each generation for its preservation and defense. As we commemorate this historic anniversary, help us to remember that liberty flourishes only where justice is respected, where truth is honored, and where the rule of law is faithfully upheld. Remind us that the principles of natural law, those enduring standards of right and wrong that transcend time, circumstance, and political power, remain essential to the preservation of freedom and ordered liberty. Today, Lord, we ask your blessing upon all who are gathered for this commemoration. Bless our citizens, public servants, community leaders, members of the legal profession, and all who labor to preserve the institutions of liberty and self-government. We also give thanks for the 11th Judicial Circuit of Florida, whose service reminds us daily of the importance of justice, constitutional government, and the rule of law. Grant wisdom, integrity, and courage to all entrusted with public responsibility and the administration of justice. As we reflect upon 2.5 centuries of American history, May we honor the sacrifices of those who secured our independence, defended our freedoms, and strengthened our institutions. Inspire us to be faithful stewards of the inheritance they have entrusted to us and worthy guardians of the liberties we enjoy. May future generations look back upon our own time and find that we preserved the blessings of liberty, protected the rule of law, and remained faithful to the noble ideas upon which this nation was founded. May they be knowledgeable enough to recognize that preservation of these freedoms must be paramount if they hope to continue to have the true meaning of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We ask these blessings in your holy name. Amen.
Thank you very much. Please remain standing as we retire the colors.
Honor guard. Ready, peace. Forward, march. Left, 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 right. Left, 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 right.
Thank you, everybody. Please be seated. Gentlemen, you want to sit some in the empty chairs, feel free to do so. There's some on this side as well. Good afternoon, everyone. We gather here today as one court family, joined by members of the bar, students, teachers, elected officials, and members of the public to commemorate the 250th anniversary of our nation's founding and to reflect on the principles that bind us together: liberty, justice, and the rule of law. Today's program brings together voices from across our legal and civic community. From our trial courts, our appellate courts, our local government, our bars, our citizens, and of course the Supreme Court of Florida, who is here joining us today, to reflect on the documents and ideals that shaped our nation. The program is built around three foundational texts: the Declaration of Independence, the preamble to the Constitution, and the Bill of Rights. Through selected passages, we will reflect on where our country began, how our government was formed, and why individual liberty remains at the center of our constitutional system. We are especially grateful to the Museum of Miami and their director, Natalia Crujeras, who joins us here today, for sharing. If you walked in, you saw all in the lobby all these digital prints. They allowed us to use these digital replications, and they are connected with the Freedom Plane National Tour, Documents That Forged a Nation. This is an original exhibit that is actually right across the street, being presented Monday through Sunday from 11 to 5, so I encourage you all. It's a very special treat to have these original documents. They're going all around the United States, and we have them through the end of the month, correct? Until July 5th. Wow, we even get them for July 4th. Wow, that's amazing. So I hope you all take time to enjoy that presentation. Now we begin our program where America began, with the words that announced a new nation to the world.
When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another,
and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them.
A decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal,
that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights,
that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed.
That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it and to institute new government.
Laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its power in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness.
We, therefore, the representatives of the United States of America in General Congress assembled, appealing to the Supreme Judge of the world for the rectitude of our intentions.
Do, in the name and by authority of the good people of these colonies, solemnly publish and declare
that these united colonies are, and of right, ought to be free and independent states.
And for the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor.
The Declaration gave voice to America's founding ideals, but ideals alone were not enough. A government had to be built, strong enough to govern, but limited enough to preserve liberty. That was the task of the Constitution. And fittingly, it begins with a revolutionary idea. In America, we the people govern.
We the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union.
Establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility,
Provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare.
And secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America.
The Declaration announced the principles of liberty. The Constitution created the structure of ordered liberty. But many Americans remained concerned that structure alone was not enough to guarantee a national government would not infringe upon the rights of the people. That concern gave rise to the first 10 amendments to the Constitution, the Bill of Rights.
The First Amendment, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof,
or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people to peaceably assemble.
and to petition the government for a redress of grievances.
A well-ordered militia being necessary for the, I'm sorry, I should read it. I should know it by heart. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
At this time, we pause to recognize all those that have served and all that continue to serve in the United States Armed Forces. Your courage, sacrifice, and devotion to our country remind us that the freedoms we commemorate today have been defended by generations of America. Would all veterans and active duty members of the armed forces please stand so that we may recognize you? I want to thank our colleagues who have served, and our former colleague, our U.S. Attorney Jason Redding Quiñones, who continues to serve and just recently got back from military duty. Now we turn to the Third Amendment.
No soldier shall, in time of peace, be quartered in any house without the consent of the owner.
Nor in the time of war, but in a manner to be prescribed by law.
The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated.
And no warrants shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation.
And particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized.
At this time, we recognize the law enforcement officers and corrections officers who serve our courts and our communities with professionalism, restraint, and courage. Thank you for all that you do.
The Fifth Amendment. No person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on
except in cases arising in the land or naval forces or in the militia, when in actual service, in time of war or public danger.
Nor shall any person be subject for the same offense to be twice put in jeopardy of life or limb.
Nor shall be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself.
Nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law.
Nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation.
The Sixth Amendment. In all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy and public trial.
By an impartial jury of the state and district wherein the crime shall have been committed, which district shall have been previously ascertained by law.
And to be informed of the nature and cause of the accusation.
To be confronted with the witnesses against him, to have compulsory process for obtaining witnesses in his favor, and to have the assistance of counsel for his defense.
At this time, we want to recognize the prosecutors, public defenders, and criminal defense lawyers who serve our system of justice and help give life to these guarantees every day. With us here today, we have our public defender, Carlos Martinez. And we have our federal partners, our former colleagues, our U.S. Attorney Jason Redding Quinones, and most importantly, the person who does all the work, his first assistant, Yara Klukas. The Seventh Amendment.
Suits at common law where the value in controversy shall exceed $20, the right of trial by jury shall be preserved.
And no fact tried by a jury shall be otherwise re-examined in any court of the United States than according to the rules of the common law.
Today we find ourselves here in our new civil courthouse, and one of the struggles that we have is jurors when we come to court, because they expect what they see on TV to have criminal trials. But when you bring them here to a civil courthouse, they're like, why can't you decide this? And I tell them, because the Constitution requires it. It said for $20 or more. We've raised it a little bit since then. But this is a big challenge. So first, I want to recognize our civil trial attorneys who advocate every day in these courtrooms to ensure that disputes are heard, rights are protected, and justice is pursued in all of our courtrooms. Will all of our civil trial lawyers please stand to be recognized? I think there's more on the other side in our overflow room. We also recognize the voluntary bar organizations represented here today. We have members of the Cuban American Bar Association, the Miami-Dade Bar, the Fall organization, the Miami-Dade Trial Lawyers, and ABODA. Your service, education, mentorship, and commitment to the profession strengthens not both the bar, but also the administration of justice. Will all bar members, or all leadership associated with those bars, please stand to be recognized. Lastly, we can't do anything in our criminal courts or civil courts without one very important person. I need to recognize our Clerk of Court and Comptroller, Juan Fernandez Barquin. He works miracles to get us jurors here every day so that we can do our job. And your clerks are amazing and are always supportive, so we thank you and your staff for all that you do. And finally, we recognize the citizens, those jurors that serve and come when they get that summons every time. Our system depends on them. Their service is one of the clearest examples of democracy in action inside this courthouse and inside all of our courthouses where we do jury trials. In that spirit, we are proud to introduce the court's new jury greeting video. created to welcome jurors, thank them for their service, and remind them of the important role that they play in the administration of justice. Greetings and welcome to the 11th Judicial Circuit of Florida. My name is Ariana Fajardo Orshan, and as Chief Judge for Miami-Dade County, it is my honor to speak with you as you begin your jury service.
And I am Juan Fernandez Barquin, your Clerk of the Court and Comptroller. On behalf of my office, thank you for coming here today, and thank you for answering the call to jury duty.
Miami-Dade County is not only the largest judicial circuit in the state of Florida, but it is the 5th largest in the entire country. On behalf of myself and the 129 other judges that serve here, we want to thank you for reporting to jury duty today.
The Constitution of the United States is unlike any other in the world.
Many nations have constitutions, but few, if any, guarantee the freedoms and rights that ours does.
Among the most important of those rights is the right to trial by jury in both criminal and civil cases.
This right was so essential that our founding fathers fought a revolution to preserve it.
And it is a right that we in the judicial branch safeguard every day in our courtrooms.
Because jury trials are so fundamental to our democracy.
The Constitution places on citizens the duty to serve as jurors when called.
In fact, there are only 3 duties the Constitution requires of American citizens.
To pay federal income taxes.
To serve in the military if there is a draft.
And to serve as a juror. This is why your service matters so much.
Our system of justice cannot function without you.
Judges can preside. Lawyers can argue.
But only a jury, a group of impartial citizens drawn from the community,
Can decide the facts of a case.
Without you, there is no jury trial.
Your presence today is essential to the work of justice.
Now, what does it mean to be a fair and impartial juror?
It doesn't mean you need any special knowledge of the law.
That is the judge's responsibility.
What it does mean is that you keep an open mind.
Listen carefully to the evidence.
Follow the law explained to you.
And set aside personal bias or outside influence.
A fair juror is someone who weighs the case honestly,
without favoring one side or the other, and who bases their decision solely based on the evidence in court.
Fairness and impartiality are at the very heart of justice.
Every person who comes into our courts,
whether in a criminal case or a civil dispute,
deserves to have their case decided by jurors who are thoughtful, respectful, and unbiased.
By serving today, you become the guardians of that promise.
I know that jury duty can sometimes feel inconvenient.
That it may take you away from work, school, or family.
Please know we do not take your sacrifice lightly.
Your time here has meaning.
When you sit as a juror, you're not only helping resolve an individual case.
You are strengthening the rule of law,
protecting the rights of your fellow citizens, and preserving the freedoms that define our country.
So, on behalf of the 11th Judicial Circuit,
thank you for being here. Thank you for your patience.
Thank you for your commitment.
Together, we thank you for protecting the right to a jury trial.
Welcome to jury duty.
Nor cruel and unusual punishments inflicted.
The enumeration in the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage others retained by the people.
The 10th Amendment. The powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively or to the people.
At this time, we're honored to recognize our elected officials joining us here today. Through your service, at every level of government, you carry forward the responsibility of representative government and the work of serving the people. Would all elected officials please stand to be recognized? Thank you all who gave voice to all of these foundational words, and to all of you for joining us on reflecting the promises and responsibilities they continue to carry. At this time, the chairman of the Miami-Dade County Commission, Anthony Rodriguez, who's the chairman for District 10, provided us with a beautiful proclamation. Sorry, I lost the word for a second there. And at this time, I'm going to come down and read the proclamation. Would my commissioners come up? We'll have our trial court administrator do the honors of reading it. But here is, oh, here's the beautiful, it's kind of long. It's long.
I'll do the last sentence. You can do the other part if you want.
Okay, I'll do the whereas.
Okay, do the whereas.
That sounds like a good thing.
Okay.
Thank you, Chief. The Miami-Dade County Office of the Mayor and Board of County Commissioners issues this proclamation. Whereas the year 2026 marks the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, a defining moment in our nation's history that proclaimed the self-evident truths of liberty, equality, and the inherent rights of all people. And whereas for 250 years, the Constitution of the United States and the rule of law have provided the framework through which Americans have preserved liberty, resolved disputes peacefully, protected individual rights, and maintained a government of laws rather than of men. And whereas the courts have played an essential role in safeguarding constitutional principles, ensuring equal justice under the law, and maintaining public confidence in the fair and impartial administration of justice, with the 11th Judicial Circuit of Florida serving Miami-Dade County, standing as one of the largest judicial circuits in the nation, providing access to justice for residents, families, businesses, victims, litigants, and all who come before the courts. And whereas the phrase "all rise" reflects both the dignity of the courtroom and the shared civic responsibility of all Americans to rise in respect for the Constitution, the rule of law, and the enduring principles upon which our republic was founded. And whereas the 11th Judicial Circuit's All Rise America 250 celebration brings together members of the judiciary, legal community, public servants, educators, students, and residents to commemorate the nation's semi-quincentennial and reaffirm our collective commitment to liberty, justice, and constitutional self-government. And whereas Miami-Dade County recognizes the vital contributions of judges, court personnel, clerks, attorneys, jurors, interpreters, law enforcement officers, and justice partners who work each day to uphold the integrity, accessibility, and fairness of our justice system.
I get the easy part. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Mayor Daniela Levine Cava, Mayor of Miami-Dade County, Chairman Anthony Rodriguez, and the members of the Board of the County Commission, including myself, Juan Carlos Bermudez, on behalf of Miami-Dade County and this community, do hereby proclaim Friday, June 26, 2026 as All Rise America 250 Day. And thank you all for all you do, judges, everybody that's part of the court system, and even the lawyers like myself.
Thank you, Commissioner Bermudez, for that impromptu ability to be able to call you up. I'm gonna put this, no? It's gonna fall? Okay, all right, we're gonna put it right back down here. I don't know, just here. Mark as Exhibit 1, I like that. All right, and thank you, our trial court administrator, Deirdre Dunham, for reading that. We wanted somebody who could speak and pronounce very well, so I said, Deirdre, she's excellent. All right, so now for the main event, it is now my great pleasure to introduce someone who is no stranger to this community or to this court family. My friend, Chief Justice-elect John D. Correia. Today, we welcome him not only because of the office that he holds, but because of what his presence represents at this moment. A commitment to the Constitution, to the rule of law, and to the courts as institutions that belong to the people. We are honored that he is here with us today to mark this historic event.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's great to be with you. How about that jury video? I mean, some very strong American Airlines vibes in there. I was kind of expecting Judge Ortiz to show me how to put on my mask in the case of depressurization of the cabin, or maybe Judge Benavides to show me where the exit rows were, keeping in mind that they're likely behind me. That was wonderful. It is a special privilege to be with you, especially on a summer Friday. There's a lot of ties in the room for a summer Friday. And contrary to what my good friend, the Chief Judge, said, I am not the main event, any more than a homily is the main event when we go to church. We've read from the scriptures. And for me, the first virtue, the most important virtue of any homily is brevity. And so I will do my best to keep my homily brief, having spent time together reflecting on the words, the sacred words that made this country. I've always found it very significant that we celebrate as the day of the birth of our country, a very fraught day, a very scary day, the day on which we declared independence in a document ratified in Philadelphia. The signatories of that document were doing a great thing, we say now, but a daring and terrifying thing when they did it. It was not a happy day for them, I don't think. I can think of a few happier days for them. General Cornwallis surrendered at Yorktown on October 19th, 1781. That's probably when the last shot was fired. A happier day, certainly, September 3rd, 1883. That's when John Jay, Benjamin Franklin, and John Adams signed the Treaty of Paris. I like to think that all three of those gentlemen would have a tremendous time today reflecting on us floating here in the sky. I particularly think that Benjamin Franklin would love pastelitos as well and would probably have a great time. But we don't celebrate that day either, September 3rd. We do celebrate Constitution Day, though not with fireworks. That's September 17th, 1787, when delegates signed the final draft of the Constitution and sent it to the states for ratification. Now, as every good student of the Constitution knows, the Constitution required the assent of 9 of the 13 states to take effect. We don't celebrate the day that happened either. That was June 21st, 1788, when New Hampshire became the 9th state to ratify the U.S. Constitution. A great book about the period between 1776 and that day, June 21st, 1788, was written by the eminent historian Pauline Maier. I recommend it to everyone. It's just called Ratification. And it's about the debates that led to that great moment when the Constitution that we just recited became the law of the land. Not even the first 10 amendments. That doesn't come until 1791. George Washington wasn't inaugurated as president until April 30th, 1789. I mean, we think of him as being present at the foundation. Of course he was, but he didn't become president until 1789, 13 years, right? Like a significant passage of time from the beginning of the struggle to the end. No, what we celebrate instead with fireworks and barbecues and time with family is a declaration, a mission statement, a statement of principles not realized. It is that mission that gives life to our nation. In that respect, as the late eminent historian Gordon Wood has noted, our nation is unique. It is truly the only nation in the history of mankind that was a nation before it was a people. Here there is no Volk, there is no fatherland. There is no shared consanguinity that marks us as Americans. There is instead a commitment to independence, a particular kind of independence. And today I wanted just to meditate about a very special form of independence, judicial independence. Between the Declaration and the ratification of the Constitution, there was, as I said, a great debate about what kind of republic we would have, what the republic would look like, and what would keep the republic in place. And in Federalist 78, memorized by everyone who goes into a judicial nomination committee review, we learned that the judicial branch has neither force nor will, but merely judgment. Less popular, less reviewed, Federalist 79, doubles down on the nature of judicial independence and prescribes how in the federal system, neither the compensation of a judge will be altered by the executive, nor can the executive remove a judge for anything other than an impeachable offense. And in Federalist 81, also not necessarily bandied about, Hamilton responds to objections about judges being above the law and instead walks through the history of the common law to show that judges are part and parcel of the separation of powers, part and parcel of the common law tradition. It is that tradition which, in the long train of abuses and usurpations that we didn't read, but that is the Bill of Particulars that our founding fathers wrote against King George III, Jefferson says, "The king has obstructed the administration of justice by refusing his assent to laws for establishing judiciary powers. He has made judges dependent on his will alone for the tenure of their offices and the amount and payment of their salaries." It was part and parcel of the reason we started this whole mess in the first place, that we were going to have judges who understood that their sole commitment was to the Constitution that we're all going to ceremonially re-embrace as our sole oath today. Justice Anthony Kennedy said that judicial independence is not conferred so judges can do as they please. Judicial independence is conferred so judges can do as they must. The people who serve before you today in robes do so because they believe that they stand as a bulwark for the liberties declared in the Declaration and protected by the Constitution. Their job, their obligation, their oath, their duty is to say what the law is, not what it ought to be. And it's a power you have, acting as voters through your elected representatives in the legislature. Their power, their duty, is simply to say what the law is and to see that it is upheld. And that is a solemn and difficult job. And all they ask, all they need in order to do it, is the ability to do it with the same independence that the founders fought for, declared as their right in definition and in deference in opposition to the king in 1776. That independence consists not in being above disagreement. It is every constitutional officer's treat to be disagreed with. Judges, I tell my kids, go to work and get disagreed with every day. 100% of the time, someone leaves your courtroom unhappy. Sometimes 100% of the people leave your courtroom unhappy. As a matter of logic, then, we know that the constitutional office, the constitutional legitimacy of a judge cannot depend on whether or not we agree with him or her. Because as a matter of logic, if a judge's constitutional authority depended on agreement, there would be no judicial system, there would be no independent judiciary, and there would be no rule of law. The rule of law is the rule of law when we disagree with it. What marks a court's legitimacy is its commitment to staying in its constitutional lane, adhering to the role that it is prescribed in the state constitution here in Florida and the United States Constitution. That is the test of a court's legitimacy, the sole test of a court's legitimacy. So why do I make this point? I make this point because in our society, we have access to so much information. My kids have convinced me, not just because they're 13 and 15, that I am in fact stupid. I'm stupid because they know stuff before I do. Some of it true. But certainly they know more than I do. And I'm not being facetious. They know more. That never in human history has it been possible to know more, right and wrong, than it is right now, sitting in this room with the supercomputer in your pocket. And a lot of what you will read will tell you that judges are illegitimate, that judges have transgressed, that we don't like a judge because we disagree with the judge's ruling. I think what we've done today by meditating on the scriptures and the point of my brief homily is that it isn't enough to disagree, to say that a judge or a decision is illegitimate. The test, the promise, and the guarantee on which the rule of law is based is that judges will defend the principles of the Declaration and the promises of the Constitution, and that their fealty to those tasks is the sole measure of their legitimacy. Thank you for having me. It is such a privilege to serve as a justice on the Supreme Court of the state of Florida. I take over as Chief Justice on July 1st, and I never would have guessed growing up here in Miami that on the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence, I would be the Chief Justice of my home state. I certainly don't think my father thought that when on October 27th of 1961, he arrived here as an unaccompanied minor at the age of 10 as part of Operation Pedro Pan. But I do think that maybe his mother knew and my mother's mother knew. And so I want to close by thinking of them, of my grandmothers who dared things I can't even imagine for me to be here, and for the grandparents of all of us, whether they were born here or not. I think they would be pleased, I think they would be overjoyed to see what America is on this, its 250th birthday. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for those inspiring words. Everybody can have a seat. And for taking the time to spend this historic day here with us. We wanted to give you a little token of your appreciation. We've started a tradition here in the 11th Circuit to honor different people on different events. And this is the Florida flag that has, and by the way, shout out to Barquette, because it was him who started this tradition, came up with it. But we wanted to let you know that this flag here flew over the Soto Courthouse this morning in honor of this wonderful event and in honor of your upcoming term of Chief Justice.
Thank you.
And we hope that it reminds you every time you look at it in your office in Tallahassee, or maybe in your home office in the Children's Courthouse, of your Miami court family.
Thank you.
And of the the trust that has been given to you now as you take on this new role. Okay? Godspeed. All right. At this time, I'm going to ask that some of our interns help us. We have heard the words that shape the nation. Now we turn to those who will carry them forward. I invite all of our judicial interns to come to the well of the courtroom here.
They're afraid of you.
You represent the next generation of lawyers, leaders, and public servants. And I would ask you to please come up. Come back a little bit more. Come in. You gotta come all in, and you're gonna face the doors. Come all in. And then face the doors. Okay. In honor of the original 13 colonies, and as a simple, oh, Jesus, I'm sorry. We're gonna start again. In honor of the original 13 colonies, and as a symbol of the responsibilities passed from one generation to the next, our interns will now ring the bell 13 times. Let's have you all take your seats again. Thank you to our interns. I feel like each year they get younger and younger. As the sounds of those 13 bells fade, we are reminded that the American story did not end with the founding. The American experiment endures only when each generation chooses to preserve it. That responsibility now belongs to all of us, to those who serve in our courts, to those who advocate in them, to those who teach the next generation, to those who govern, and to every citizen who believes that liberty and justice are worth protecting. And there is no better place to be reminded of that responsibility than right here in our courthouse. Because our courts, liberty, justice, and the rule of law are not abstract ideas. They are alive. They play out in real cases, in real lives, and in the daily work of ensuring that every person that comes before the law is heard with fairness, dignity, and respect. I want to thank all of today's speakers and participants for lending their voice to this program, including on their birthdays. Judge Fernandez Caravetos. I also want to thank members of our administrative office of the courts and our sites team, who is our technology team. We cannot do anything without these team that we work with on a daily basis. I want to take a moment to thank the creators behind today's event. Judge Margie Verde, Judge Joanne Hernandez, and Deputy Chief Gina Belvides. They have been on daily Zooms trying to plan this event and trying to get all these judges. The video took us 6 months to do. When she told me she was gonna do this with all these people sitting, I said, I'm not sure about this. But you guys did an amazing job. Thank you for all that you do. I also wanna give a shout out to our bailiffs, who are also, Yeshua, Carlos, and Bill are the leaders, and they gather everybody. They're the ones who set things up. They're like our AKA moving company and bringing things and setting up the tables and movies. So thank you all for everything that you do to make us look good every day in court. At the close of the Constitutional Convention, Benjamin Franklin was asked what kind of government was created. His answer was simple and enduring: a republic, if you can keep it. For 250 years, generations of Americans have answered that charge, and now it is ours to keep. Thank you for all being here. May God bless America and may God bless the United States of America. Cheers to our republic. Our program is adjourned. Please join us outside for our reception.